In this lesson, we will send HTTP requests to get data from APIs. API stands for Application Programming Interface. APIs are behind most apps you have on your phone and web pages you visit. Like, for example, when you're on Facebook, it uses an API to get the list of posts to show on your newsfeed. I won't go into the details of how APIs work, but I encourage you to search about APIs and RESTful APIs, a very important topic nowadays. The biggest web companies today, like Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, PayPal, Udemy, and so on, provide APIs for developers to use. If I want, for instance, to display Twitter's trending topics on my Python program, I don't have to hack it. I just need to send a request to Twitter's API. So anytime you need to do something like this, you can just type, for example, Twitter APIs. And you will see that the first search result is a website called developer.twitter.com. If you go here, you will have all the information you need about how to use Twitter's APIs. You can do the same thing for Facebook. And as you can see, Facebook also has a web page called developers.facebook.com. You can also try Google. And here you have developers.google.com/APIs Explorer. I encourage you to read a bit more about it, especially Google's APIs, because there are many interesting things we can do with them. I may return later in the course to show an example of how those APIs work. For now, let's use a simpler example that won't require authentication. Let's say I want to develop a quizzing game in Python. I want to present to users questions about different subjects like movies, sports, history, and see if they can answer. I could create my own questions, but that would be a lot of work. So why not search for an API we can get questions from? So let's write quiz API. So here we have one called OpenTriviaDB. This is the one we are going to use to make our game. So we can see examples here. So let's select one question. Let's pick a category. Let's say music. Let's get an easy one. And let's select multiple choice. Now let's generate API URL. So this API URL is the one we are going to use to send our HTTP request to. Let's copy this and open it in the web browser to see what we have. What you're seeing here is the response to that request in the JSON format. You may be seeing something different, and this is because I have a Chrome extension called JSON View. Let me just turn it off for a moment and refresh the page. So this is most likely the way you're seeing it in your computer. So like I just said, this is a JSON. Since we're going to be working with JSON a lot, I encourage you to get the Chrome extension I just showed you. For that, you can just go to Google and type Chrome extension JSON View. And then you can just click in the Install button. Since I already did it, I'm just going to turn it on again. So this way it is much easier to understand the structure of the response. Now it would be good if we could convert this JSON to a Python dictionary we could work with. This is possible, and it is exactly what we will do in the next lesson. I'll see you then.